All right. Hi, everyone. I'm DJ Angel Hair.
And I am DJ Malpractice.
And we are here with Alex Melton, who's widely known on TikTok and YouTube for his amazing covers, mashups, and original songs.
He will be performing at Emo Night at New Brookland Tavern this Friday, so stick around to get to know him a little bit more with us. So first, would you like to introduce yourself?
My name is Alex. I'm a musician. I've been making videos for, I think this year makes 10 years on YouTube.
Wow.
I like to take songs and turn them into different sounding songs, different arrangements. I like to play with production and stuff like that. Just kind of a bunch of musical experiments is what I try to tell people I do.
Yeah, extremely innovative. So would you consider your music mashup, blends, or something else? How would you classify them?
You know, there's a lot of thought that's been gone into that question, and it kind of changes. I would say a rearrangement is my favorite way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
It can be, sometimes it is more of just a straight up cover.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it goes a little bit farther outside the box than a rearrangement even would go. So I pride myself in not sticking to one specific thing. So depending on the song, you could call it different things.
Yeah.
It's art.
It's art. It's art. Why did you start combining songs and genres?
Probably like most good things in life, it was kind of started as a joke. I was just kind of messing around on the guitar and playing. I think the first one I did was the Panic at the Disco song. I was just kind of hamming it up a little, and then I was like, wait a second, that was kind of catchy. I wonder if I made it into a full song. And it was mostly, the novelty of it is so interesting because it connects with the listener in this hybrid way where they know it already, but there's so many fresh elements to it that it makes it interesting. There's a reason for that version to exist outside of the original. And I always like to say this, but I'm never like making fun of any songs that I like cover or play. It's all coming from like stuff that I really enjoy personally and I have a lot of respect for. So I like to say that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I love that. I played your cover of I Miss Y'all, like that. I miss like the country version of I Miss You on my show like a long time ago. Then I saw that you were coming to Emo Night and I was like, we got to jump on that, Lauren. I was like, we got to go. That's so cool. So no, I really appreciate that because that's my favorite song of like all time. I just played it on my show like an hour ago. So like I completely relate to that and I love it.
And I feel like music like that, like even if it is like, it has like a comical like groundwork to it, it can still be like genuinely and unironically enjoyed by like many people. So I absolutely adore that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to lose like the original spirit of the song. Almost, I try to keep that in whatever translation I do. So yeah,
I think you succeed at that. Yeah,
definitely.
So would you mind describing your creative process and what is your favorite genre of songs to cover?
Oh man, okay. Creative process. What's that?
That's a deep question. Really digging in deep.
Man, it's a lot of me in my studio room by myself, just like scrolling through Spotify, trying to like come up with ideas but a lot of when I land on an idea, it almost becomes very clinical in how I approach it. I open up a Pro Tools session and I grab all of my like the things I'm going to need that I know I'm going to put on that track, like a bunch of different guitar tracks and drum tracks, and like I start from there building the song kind of immediately. There's not really like a demo phase where I kind of like play it in the room on a guitar while singing. It's more done all in the computer and kind of built up like a track would be built. And that's where the musical training comes in, where you can hear like, okay, well, here's how I want to change it, and then just do it, and at a certain point it just becomes like you can produce what you are hearing in your head to a reasonable level without so many steps in between. And I typically work alone. I just kind of like the freedom of being able to put it down whenever I want and walk away without checking with somebody else. But I have found in the last couple months, especially collaborating with other people, it's a little bit harder to get started, but like once you're rolling on something, it's so much easier to like just have somebody there, even if they're not even contributing actively in that moment. Just the fact that you know that you're accountable to them in this session, and like it keeps you on track a little better. Maybe that's just because I have ADHD or something, but so that's kind of that's kind of my creative, like, you know, come up with the idea and then just build it out and keep iterating on that same session until it's done.
Yeah.
And the other question you had was something.
I said,
about,
what was your favorite genre of songs to cover?
Man, turning pop punk songs into country songs is so rewarding for me, because, you know, I grew up listening to bands that had like a drum kit and 2 guitar players and a bass player, and that was the whole instrumentation, you know. So then you start taking these songs and taking them off electric guitar onto acoustic guitar, maybe sometimes a piano, maybe the lap steel or some type of little mandolin. I even got to have a banjo on a track or 2 recently. And even if you're just like playing the same lines that would be on a guitar, now you're switching and it has this completely different timbre to it, and it gives everything a different context, and it gives you room to get a little more organic with the end result, because so much of like pop punk, you know, it's got pop in the name. It is highly like produced and edited, and it sounds amazing and super tight, and that's why we love it. But like sometimes things can get a little looser when you play in different alternative, like Americana country realm, and it's very freeing. And I learned the most about how to do new techniques with mixing or playing when I do those types of sessions, because there's not as much of a formula that I'm following.
That's cool. I have to ask, have you heard of the YouTuber Blanks before?
Yes, I think I saw his the Post Malone 80s cover he did.
Yes. The way that he like he also like will like recreate songs like you do, but like he'll take them from scratch. And so like your process sounds like very similar to like the YouTube videos that he puts together. So that was just like complete like crossover. Love that.
That's cool.
He's super cool. I play him on my show as well. But what are the easiest genres for you to blend, and what are the most difficult ones?
You know, anything that steps outside of like the diatonic, like, you know, major scale, like super simple pop punk tonality, anything that kind of gets a little bit more like esoteric in terms of what you might find in that kind of style. It's like I recently did Thanks for the Memories by Fall Out Boy. I kind of recontextualized it, and the chord progression is just so strange, and I've never covered a song or played a song that had that chord progression in it, and you just realize just how much that vocal melody on top is really making it. It's not a catchy chord progression, but it fits perfectly with what Patrick's doing. And so those moments where I have to kind of push my own comfort zone when it comes to like where my fingers go as a first draft on the guitar, and say like, no, I can't do that here. It has to be more interesting, or it has to be different. I don't know. Like I need to step one step further than what I would normally do.
It's awesome.
Great. Yeah.
Okay, I have to ask, because you said that you do all of your music on your own, I have to know, like, how long does this process take? Like, how long does it take to make your videos, to make the TikToks, since you do everything by yourself?
That is the question of my life, really. I think that's the when you work for yourself like I do, and there's nobody to like give you a schedule or say you have to be anywhere at a specific time, it's really tempting for me to just like sometimes just not show up and just kind of lay in bed or whatever I want to do. Or even I'll get distracted working on my house, like painting a room. It's like I don't have time to paint right now. I should be making music. But I I've already lost track of your original question. Remind me again.
I was just gonna say, how long is the process, or how long does it take to make your videos slash TikToks, because you do run on your own schedule?
Got it. Yeah, there's different phases, right? So like when I still had a day job and I only could work on music at night, I set myself a limit. So you have to make a video a week minimum. And so I would do whatever it took to get that video done. Now that I don't have to go to a day job, it still takes me a week to make a video, partly because like of the time management thing that I'm still figuring out, but also because I want to push it. I don't want every video to be like, all right, same formula, plug and play, same as last week. I want better visuals. I want a different editing style that I want to work on this week, or I want to try to really like nail certain harmonies that would be interesting to hear, but that maybe I wouldn't have time to do before. So as the timeline expands by virtue of not having as many things in the day, the ambitions also kind of expand at the same rate. So it takes however long I say it's going to take, which I'm beholden to 1 week. That's kind of my deadline for myself. So it always takes about a week.
Thank you.
I feel like we kind of relate to that process because Lori has like an indie and like Spanish show, and I have like a pop punk EDM show. So I feel like we kind of relate, like trying to like push the boundaries.
We all have to
drag in.
We have to have a specific kind of music at a specific sort of time period. So
Yeah.
You know, we're all like just the same when you think about it. You and I, we are all just the same person.
I mean, you're not wrong on a level.
So since we're on the topic of TikTok a little bit, how has TikTok helped you grow your platform?
I to be honest, I don't know if I would be here without TikTok. Even though I started on YouTube so long ago, I didn't really get continued traction. I kept having a few little things do well, but I never thought I could actually like make it a career. And so I didn't really focus on those things. And then 2020 happened, and a lot of stuff went down. I was working in the performing arts area as a stage tech, and so all of my work was just gone. And so, you know, I was at home, and I was like, well, this is like the only chance I'm ever going to get if I want to be like a musician or anything. Like, I have nothing to do. Like, legally, you can't do anything. And so I made a couple of TikToks, and they started doing okay. And then I made one TikTok in particular where I covered Love Story by Taylor Swift, and it just blew up because that whole trend was going on at the time, where you like push your phone away and on something with wheels. And you know, I had access to this theater since I worked in performing arts, and I did all this crazy lighting and stuff, and it kind of, I guess it went viral. I think it ended up around 4 million views on it.
And
That's huge.
Like just under 1 million likes on the post. And so, you know, working in that theater allowed me to like kind of make a big spectacle out of it. But then everybody stuck around because they liked my arrangement of the song. And the next day after that happened, I was like, okay, I have to make the full song now. Like, I can't wait. And so I got to work on that and put it up. And then that video that I put on YouTube of the full song from the TikTok is kind of what broke the seal in terms of getting people over to other platforms off of TikTok. And so, you know, there's a really thriving community for just about anything you could ever dream of on TikTok. And so, you know, if you find the right people and they like what you're doing and you vibe with them, then I think there's a really unique way to like actually have a dialogue with people on there that you don't get in these other social media platforms that are very, I don't know, they feel more closed off in a way.
I feel like TikTok is a lot more casual than some other social medias, and therefore it's a lot more welcoming, and people are very much like open to expressing themselves. They don't feel like they're in a bind.
Yeah, it's true. I've seen people joke around about like, don't worry if you post something bad because nobody will see it anyway. It's like if you post something good, oh, well, I don't know. Some people they go viral for things.
There's a few exceptions, but
it is. You just kind of post whatever, and then whatever sticks. And there's no stakes really.
And you can never tell what sticks. You have no
No.
clue.
Yeah, that's part of the frustration of it as a creator, to where, you know, I've seen people talk about like, man, I spent 20 hours on this TikTok and it got like 30 views, but then this little throwaway thing that I posted blew up. But,
Yeah.
It's just the game.
I made a TikTok about like all the foods that I eat because I'm like a crazy picky eater, and that like blew up, and I was like, I'm so embarrassed. I was like, I did not want anybody to see that. So I feel that.
People love food content.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so moving on, how would you define a successful song?
Oh man.
I know, hard hitting once again.
I think it has a lot to do with the creator and their intentions in making the song. You know, if they feel, I don't know, what makes a successful song?
I guess I should say what makes you proud of the song? Like what type of song can make you sleep well at night? Like how much effort do you have to put in, stuff like that? What makes it successful to you?
I feel like the most successful things that I've made in terms of not like numbers, but like satisfaction, are things that I find myself like almost going back to listen to just out of enjoyment. Like, I can't believe I made this. This is exactly the type of music I want to hear in the world. And the fact that I was able to like somehow magically create something that I personally enjoy. Because I mean, at a certain point when you're a creator, you have to divorce yourself from like your preferences versus the audience you're trying to garner. And it's like, just because I'm not interested in something doesn't mean they're not interested, and vice versa. But you know, at the end of the day, when I can be like, you know, in my room listening to this song I just made, and it's like, oh God, how did I do that? Like, this is something outside of me. Like, all of my influences somehow came together in my brain and popped out this song. And so I think those are the most satisfying, successful moments for me.
Awesome, thank you.
That's amazing. So do you think that YouTube videos, also kind of going along with TikTok, have added to the success of your music rather than just releasing the songs with no visuals on like Spotify or Apple Music, something like that?
Yeah, I think, you know, I'm not like a vlog channel. I don't like talk about my life in that way, but like, you can glean a lot still through just my music videos about, I think, the kind of person I am and the kind of things that I value. And you know, people like, they really resonate with the personality a lot. And so I'm trying to get more comfortable with like, you know, making things that can show a little bit more personal, because I think that's how I treat artists as well. The more I know about the artist, not in like a parasocial way, but like the more that I get a sense of who they are, the more I understand their music. And so having the visual and just seeing like my decor style, or the type of guitar that I chose to play, or my mannerisms during a video, or the editing, you can kind of get to know me in this indirect way while also appreciating the music. And it's a lot more immediate. Like, I feel like I get the sense from my comments that people take a chance on a YouTube video more than they would on just like a visualizer song. But also at the same time, the video is the avenue that people can tell me that they enjoyed it the easiest. I don't have like a comment section on my Spotify or whatever, so it goes both ways, and I can actually you know, get a sense of what people enjoy about my stuff, maybe what they don't enjoy sometimes. And and so I think just the whole aspect of it having that extra layer on top of just the music absolutely is like a game changer in terms of what I've been able to do.
Awesome. I have to say, you mentioned before that you were not a vlog channel. If you by at any point started making vlogs, I would eat that up. I would watch those day and night.
Me too.
I want to know the life of you 100%.
I will say that I'm borderline a hermit.
Okay.
So, it's a lot of like in the house. I do have 2 cats, so they would make for great content. But we'll see what happens.
I don't want to pry into your personal life, but what are your 2 cats' names?
The first one that I got is Mochi, and the second one is Bagel.
That's so cute.
Oh, I'm a very big fan of like food names. Like I want to name a cat like Fettuccine, something like that. I agree. Love that.
They're the best names.
Yeah.
So given the chance, who is someone that you would want to collab with? Maybe a YouTuber, maybe a TikToker, anyone that you have interest in?
There's one that I recently there's this newer band that I have come to enjoy a lot, and they reached out to me recently, and we're going to do a thing, but I probably shouldn't say that one because they haven't announced. But I will say my personal musical hero is Kenny Vasoli from The Starting Line. They were kind of like a big Drive-Thru Records band in like 01, 02, whatever. And I don't know if you guys know who The Starting Line is.
Nope. No.
Okay.
Nodding my head.
And it was just one of those things where they put out a record that I really listened to a lot in high school, and then Kenny, the singer, went on to do a bunch of different musical projects with different genres and things, and just I have absolutely loved everything he's ever done. And a lot of people say when I sing a certain way, I kind of sound like him, and I feel like that was probably like my teenage brain just picking up all these mannerisms. But so I'd probably have to say Kenny from The Starting Line.
Awesome.
Great.
Thank you.
That's great. So kind of going along with that, how do you find your music is received by like the public, people on YouTube, people on TikTok?
I am very lucky when it comes to that. From what I've been able to gather myself, I think people understand what I'm going for in terms of like, there's absolutely nothing wrong with covering a song just, in a more standard way, because people have like amazing talents on like, a drum set or singing voices. It's just like, you can add this different flavor to a song just by a different person singing it. But I feel like my biggest talent is the arrangement and the production. So that's kind of what I present as my thing. Instead of singing it amazingly, I'm just singing it differently. I already forgot the question. I keep going on tangents.
No, you're good. It was just, how do you find your music is received? Yes.
Okay. So, and what I was saying about the covering songs straight up, people I think appreciate that it's a little bit of an extra layer to it than just here's a cover of a song I really like by someone who's good at music or whatever. There's this like pretty much a question that's being asked in every video, like what if this song was in this way? Not always better necessarily, just different. What if it had this in it, or what if this person sang it, or what if it was a different genre? And so people, like I said earlier, like they already know it going in. They know all the words. They know how it's supposed to go, and yet they don't know it at all. And so that first listen is so trippy, I think, for a lot of people that I've talked to. It's like, this is like really scratching an itch in my brain in a good way.
Yeah, I completely relate to that. Like finding your covers and finding a lot of like I play a cover set every single week of my show. So like finding your cover I Miss Y'all was like mind-blowing event for me. But anything like I completely relate to that because like I love like ska punk too. So like finding ska covers of stuff, yeah, completely scratches the itch. Like exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, ska music is such a good flavor to add to pretty much anything.
I love it so much. I'm listening to this cover of like Kiss the Girl from The Little Mermaid and it's ska and it's so
I think I
good.
listened to that. I think
Yeah.
you sent that to me.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Very cool.
Okay. So carrying on, what is an instrument that you wish you could play or have started learning to play? And that if you would like to, would you incorporate in future songs?
There's two that I've dabbled in banjo, but I am by no means a banjo player. And I think it would really open up a lot of like musical avenues for me if I could get a banjo and figure out what I was doing. There's so much of a rhythmic quality to how you play the banjo, and I feel like, you know, as a drummer, I feel like that's such a interesting way to approach this instrument that's like part rhythmic but also very chordal and can be melodic. And it's just the virtuosity that I see some of those guys. They're just like
Yeah.
and I want to do that. And the other one is the pedal steel in country music, where you know they have that bar and they slide it over the strings and they push these pedals. They make different notes kind of within the chord, change mid chord.
Yes.
And they can
Sorry,
do all
I
this
was
like
thinking for a minute about what that was.
like these like silky smooth little transitions. And I want to be able to do that too. So those are my two.
Yeah, that's sweet. That's amazing. Okay, so this is our last question. In honor of emo night, what is your favorite emo band and song?
Okay.
Hard question, I know.
There is
Man.
a right answer.
Man, emo band. I've always struggled with the I have the answer.
Okay.
Okay. I think the band I think I'll have to say Taking Back Sunday.
Okay. Classic.
And I was in high school when Louder Now came out, and Make Damn Sure was like the biggest song in the world. And I think that's
So
just
exciting.
such,
Yeah.
that's such a good song. I think the writing and the production, everything about it is just like top tier.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. Absolutely love that. All right. So we're just gonna end it if that's okay. And then we can actually, do you have any questions? Any more questions?
I do not have any more.
I don't have any more either. Do you have anything that you want to like say to the listeners or anything like that?
Should I plug the show that's coming up, or is it going to be past?
Plug it anyways.
Yeah, worst case we
and
get-
we'll be technical with it.
We'll fix it.
It's Friday, right? The
Yes.
22nd.
Friday the 22nd at New Brookland Tavern.
Yeah, it's going to be like kind of I think it's going to be my first show where I've had a full band.
That's
so
cool.
Yeah, and we've been practicing our butts off, and it's going to be really cool. And I'm looking forward to like having that energy, because like I said, I work solo so often, and so
Yeah.
now I have like people that I've surrounded myself that are like really good, and it's really exciting, and there's a lot of like cool vibes. So yeah,
It's so exciting. I feel like New Brookland Tavern, we've been there multiple times.
all
It
the
is
time.
the perfect place to have like a first of something,
Oh,
like
yeah.
music wise. It is the perfect scenery. It honestly is. So
Yeah.
I'm very
I
excited to
agree.
see you perform.
Yeah, we had tons of bands play there.
Mhm.
Like I know Paramore and MCR played there like back in their early days. So it's a great
Wow.
venue.
Very cool.
I can't, sorry, just one more thing. I cannot tell you how many bands I have discovered from New Brookland Tavern.
Oh yeah.
And I know that so many people are going to discover you from that place as well. So
Yes.
be ready for more fans.
That's really cool about like the going to a show to discover bands is so cool to me.
Yeah, it's amazing. Okay. So thank you all for listening, and get ready to hear more from Alex at Emo Night this Friday at New Brookland Tavern.
Thank you, Alex.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.